Hello, I don't know if you can hear us. I think you can hear us. Hi, any Patreons or channel members watching this on the replay. Thank you for your continued support. We really appreciate you. How's our sound and video, please, everybody? Taking my socks off because I mean business. Now you come in a bit closer. Here we go. Michael Askew is in the house. Vegan Melhead. Andre, Stacey Langley. Sawyer Jones, Vegan Mooncat. All the regs. Andre and Doodle Machine are here. That's confusing me. Who else is here? Cat the Vegan Artist. Stain. So Jones, the EU voted against changing vegan sausages to vegan tubes. How is the sausage a tube anyway? Like, it's a solid thing. Tubes are hollow, aren't they? Crazy. Crazy. So that's, that's good, isn't it? I mean, I can't imagine that it would have done too much harm had the bill been passed, but great that it wasn't. And the poor animal agriculture industry, they're really scared, aren't they? They know their days are numbered, so they're trying every little childish thing to try and claw back and hang in there, but sorry, we don't want you no more. Animal agriculture is what John Venus is to veganism. Animal agriculture is to the world. We don't want it. How's our sound in that? Did anyone comment? I can hear you, that's good. It looks like their sound's good anyway. Okay. Richard Mears said, hi Paul and Jem, I hope you are both well. Great job with the John Venus response. He's an absolute disgrace to humanity. Yeah. And thank you for saying that. Rusty Can said, D. Hey Hench, how much protein is too much? You probably don't want like any more than you really need, in all honesty. I mean, there's not a lot of data on it, but you know, Professor Walter Longo, like he is probably the most famous researcher in terms of longevity, and he said that the high fat, high protein diet is the absolute worst in terms of longevity and cancer risk. So yeah, you probably don't want to eat any more than is necessary. For an average guy, the World Health Organization says 56 grams of protein per day should be adequate for pretty much everybody. You know, for an average like non-athlete, that is, for like a sedentary person. For a female, 46. And then, you know, as you get into kind of fitness, like just general kind of strength training for an average person or physique, you know, but then you get into bodybuilding and elite bodybuilding, you have to put in more and more and more protein, and you are risking your health. Like bodybuilding is an inherently unhealthy pursuit, really. You know, if I wasn't bodybuilding, I wouldn't be eating half the protein. I really wouldn't. So how much is too much? Who really knows? But over your needs, the more you add in, the more you risk an early death, basically. Plant protein, probably not as harmful as animal protein, but still probably not, you know, optimal for your health. The longest lived people on record, the Elkanans of the 40s, you know, they ate something like 7 or 8% of their diet as protein. Longest lived people on record, most centenarians. Zedman, hey Hench, I got a question. Okay, if you asked the question there, I could have answered it. I am a cheeky. UK vegan families in the house, sub to them, they're great. Fern House is in the house. Off the goop. Newly vegan for just 5 days now. Nice. Focus and attention span have both improved, which are a major problem for me. That's really good to hear. So, yeah, you know, to be optimally healthy, like there's vegan diets and there's vegan diets. You know, the word vegan kind of denotes what you don't eat, which is animals, which is great for your health to avoid animals. But also, you know, a lot of vegan foods are not healthful. You know, all the junk foods, refined oil, refined flour, refined sugar. So if you want optimal health, you know, it's the whole foods, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices. Now, depending on how healthful you go, oftentimes you'll feel great for a bit. If you're eating really healthily, you could go through a phase of feeling quite naff for a while as you kind of detox some of the older toxins out. And also, if you go at it too quick, at the moment your gut microbiome will be Bacteroides bacteria type dominant. These are pathogenic bacteria that live in the colon. And basically the bacteria that we invite to live in the colon are predicated on the foods we eat. So at the moment, as I say, you'll be Bacteroides dominant. If you were to go 100% whole vegan plant foods, you know, these invite the Prevotella strains of bacteria to live in the colon. These are the health promoting ones, but you will get some dysbiosis as, you know, you've not got enough Prevotella strains to process all the fiber and stuff. So you can get gas, bloating, pain even, diarrhea, constipation with diarrhea, which is actually a thing. So you can have all sorts of issues. And a lot of people, if they went from a junky or like a high animal products diet straight over to an optimally healthy whole foods vegan one, oftentimes there will be gut dysbiosis, and people will often say, oh, my body doesn't like healthy food, it can't handle it, I'll just go back to my old ways. Well, it's not that our bodies can't handle the healthy food. Of course, healthy food is the best thing to eat and it leads to the healthiest body, but you know, you need to give it time for the Bacteroides strains to die off, for the Prevotella strains to thrive. It doesn't take that long, but I would suggest, I don't know how healthful you're going, but I would suggest to take a little time to transition over so you're not putting in all like beans and lentils and chickpeas and split peas and whole grains and potatoes and fruit and veg. These are the things that you want to optimally be aiming for, but I would give it a few weeks to slowly transition over, and you'll find it much easier to manage, and it'll be much more likely to be successful. Anything to add to that?
Good words.
Good words, mate. Muddy Paws is in the house. If af.
You didn't say a name, then you just would.
Z-Man has still got a question. Okay. You could ask the question at any time. In fact, oh no, that's not a question, is it? That's a statement. Sawyer Jones is pleased to see that you're back.
Ah, thank you.
How did you guys enjoy lovely Ellie, lovely vegan gaze?
She's a delight, isn't she?
She's a delight, yeah. Would you like to see her back? We could have her back. Cassie Harris in the house, Robert Pacino, Z-Man, Hench, hello. Thanks, guys. Good to see you too, B Hill. How are you doing? Who are you? Where are you? How's the vegan scene there? Have you got any tracksuit bottoms on? I have, but Gemma has not.
I've got leggings on. I haven't got nothing on down there. Well,
I never said that. You're welcome, UK vegan family. The vegan prophet, flat earth moon dancing with fish. Hello, that's a good name. Leon, has everyone seen the new Sverige drama? Is it the thing about what went wrong in Romania and all that? Rat Queen, Gemma looks very classy / pretty, by the way.
Thank you, it's very kind.
I'm a lucky man. Tell us about you, Rat Queen. I don't know that we've seen you in the chat before. Who are you? Where are you? How's the vegan scene? How are you doing? We like to welcome everyone to the stream. Mitch the barber, is it normal to gain weight when starting a new workout and nutrition routine? If you're suddenly eating more calories than you're burning, then yes. If you're eating the same amount of calories that you're burning, then no. Or if you're eating less calories than you're burning, then you'd go the other way. Super chat. Guilt-free gains kindly donated $4.99. Thank you. Any advice on debating someone who uses religion to justify me? I'm debating a devout Christian next week and could use the tips. I'm not hugely great on that. Dave, what's his name? James Aspey did a good one. You might look up his debate with a Christian, and I'm sure Earthling Ed would have done a video in his series of objections and how to overcome them. Yeah. I'm not really great on that. I tend to just focus, because it's my wheelhouse, health and fitness. That's really my thing.
You're not so great on religion, are we?
No. Can you think of anything good?
I don't know that I can, if I'm honest. I've heard odd things that sounded really great, but they didn't really stick because it's not something that I regularly sort of talk about. Yeah.
When you get into religion and you sort of then go into their wheelhouse, and there are a few sort of smart things you can say, but if that's what they do, they can say things back. But ethically, there is no need to eat animals. They are very obviously sentient and they feel fear and pain, and why would you be uncompassionate? And why would a compassionate God want you to eat his creations that have those feelings and emotions?
Why would he work so hard to create this beautiful planet with these beautiful creatures and want them to be treated the way they are, factory farming and all this horrific stuff, yeah.
But anyway, as we say, someone whose wheelhouse is that they will have a smarmy answer for you. And most of the time, it's just bloody trolling nonsense, isn't it?
One thing I think about, say, the Bible, is that it's been translated over so many, generations
and languages. And what was the agenda of each person translating it?
Yeah, so I think that's got to be taken into account for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have any great answers, but yeah, I would look up Earthling Ed and James Aspey and just cross-reference that with Christianity. They'll have some great things to say.
I think there was a super chat.
I think that was it, wasn't it?
No.
Super chat. B. Hill kindly donated £3 Great British pounds. What is the best way to meal prep quickly? I'm a full-time employee and full-time college student, so it's hard to find time to prep in bulk. Need easy recipes. Also, thanks for all you do, Hench Herbivore. I've learned a lot from you. Thank you so much. I think this is your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'm a fan of wet snacks, as I like to call them, because I just get a big pan. You're talking about not hard to prep in bulk. It's hard to meal prep if you're not going to make stuff in bulk, so I'm not exactly sure what you're saying.
I think he's just saying it's hard
not
to...
much time.
Hard to find the time to do it.
Yeah, don't know what to say about that.
I suppose you can get pre-chopped veggies, but the thing with pre-chopped veggies is they would have developed some degree of endotoxins, which will negate the anti-inflammatory properties of the antioxidant. So
frozen veggies.
You bet.
Might be better.
Well, they'll be chopped, won't they? But anyway, to save time, pre-chopped stuff.
Yeah.
But I think when you cook in bulk, it doesn't take much extra time to make, 5 or 7 lots of something versus one, really. It's the cooking time takes the longest, doesn't it? So
yeah.
It's really just have a system.
Big pan.
Huge pots.
So for us, I'll think, okay, around 1 can of legumes equals 1 serving. So I might think, okay, I want to make 6 servings. So I'll put 6 cans of beans, all different veggies in. I'll just alternate the different types of herbs and spices. So one day it might be something kind of Mexican-y. I might do a chili. I might do a curry. I'll just vary that kind of stuff. Vary the vegetables. Maybe I'll put some rice in it, or do a big pot of rice and have that with it. Put noodles in. Yeah, just a big pot of something. That's what I'm a big fan of. What other tips for bulk?
Do you know the quickest healthy bodybuilder meal for me? Like Gemma said, I get a can of legumes. Of course, you want 5 to 7 cans or whatever you're doing, but legumes, a whole grain, and then 3 or 4 different coloured veggies. Include a green in there. Try to get that other colours. And then just steam them.
So you have like a Buddha bowl type
Steam
of deal,
them,
don't
or make them into like a stew. So you coat them in water and add some veg stock or whatever. You know, and then just add like a small amount of nuts or seeds when you serve, so you're getting your essential fats, or a little sauce, hot sauce or tahini, whatever. You know, it's simple foods. How long does it take to steam some veggies? Like 10 minutes. You know, I suppose like a stew is going to take a bit longer, is it?
Yeah, to cook, but you know, you haven't got to be babysitting.
But then you can do stuff while you're cooking, while it's cooking, can't you?
I'm a big fan. One of my favourite meals is brown rice vermicelli, because you put some boiled water on it, leave it for 3 minutes. While that's doing that, I either make myself a tomato sauce, or I get a can of Dolmio low-fat sauce, which actually hasn't got any oil in it at all. You know, drain the noodles, put that on. Maybe I'll put some frozen peas and sweet corn in with the noodles while they're cooking. Handful of salad leaves from a bag on the side. Put it, you know, in the bowl. It's like a 5-minute meal.
You get it in the bowl.
You know, that's one of my favourite meals because it's pretty healthy.
If you're cooking some sort of tomato sauce-based meal, you can just throw in handfuls of spinach and that wilts down in the pot. That takes like minutes, you know.
Yeah. Smoothies are a great meal. You know, I'm a big fan of smoothies because you can chuck like oats and greens and all different stuff in there, even legumes, you know, because you don't taste them.
Yeah.
Put it in, you know, as a
Whiz
drink.
it up, drink it.
Drink that any time of day. I like
That's
porridge
quick to
as
get
well.
down your neck as well, isn't it? A smoothie.
Yeah, sometimes, so we might have like, you can get like wholemeal pita breads. You know, you can make hummus so quickly that's oil free. Instead of just making, say, like 1 can's worth, make a few cans worth, fill up your blender of hummus, put some servings of it in the fridge in some little tubs, put the rest in the freezer, pop like one out every time you want it. Then to hand, you've always got like hummus, you can get some pre-made salad, chuck that in a pita, and you've got yourself an easy lunch. Yeah.
Have we answered that one?
I think so, yeah.
Super chat. And thanks for the super chat. Super chat. Vegan Prophet kindly donated £2 Great British pounds. There's that lovely exercising pair. He's doing a little sort of an alluring look over his shoulder and tilting his sunglasses out. I think he's flirting. Hey, you.
Thank you.
No question. They're just supporting their local neighbourhood vegan. What are you doing?
You've missed one.
Oh. Vegan Mooncat. Super chat. Vegan Mooncat kindly donated £2 Great British pounds. He's given us digital hugs. He's probably seen my last video where John Venus has threatened me, and I am quite terrified, if I'm really honest. Thanks, Mooncat. Thanks everyone who's super chatted, helping
very kind.
keep helping us to keep doing this. Why are you out of the frame again? You keep sneaking out of the frame.
I'm a sneak.
You are a sneak. Who's looking forward to the new Borat movie?
But more importantly, who's looking forward to the new cookbook?
When's that ready?
It'll be at the start of December.
Did you see Gemma's key lime pie on Instagram? That was amazing. That was amazing.
It's all coming together.
Right. Right, I'm just looking for questiones. Jackie's in the house and Steve Alat. DJ Cat. Hench Graven Babies has a question. Oh. Hi Paul, my doctor appointment was yesterday. Said I was very low on calcium and vitamin D. I don't know what to do. 8 tons of greens and beans.
You have a thyroid problem, don't you, Green Babies? Did you had surgery recently? Did you for your thyroid? If I remember rightly. Hope I'm remembering that right. I think that's a thing that can be an issue for people with thyroid disease. I know iron is one. I think calcium might be another. There's something where your thyroid being out of balance affects the absorption of some of those other vitamins or minerals. But it's been a while since I thought about it, so I'm not entirely sure if I'm right there.
Plus, I live in Florida. Shouldn't I be getting enough sun? I'm crispy. Yeah, you would hope so, wouldn't you? If you're not, I would recommend supplementing definitely the vitamin D. Any brand will do the job. You might like to try Vivo Life's one. It comes with vitamin K2, which aids absorption. So if it's a particular issue, you could consider that.
What I was just going to recommend is maybe the Vivo's Thrive product, which is just powdered fruits and vegetables.
Has that got a good whack of calcium?
Yeah, I believe so. I was going to get it, but we've run out. I think so. Yeah, I think that's one of the nutrients.
Or just like a fortified milk or something. Like, you don't want to go overboard, but what blocks calcium absorption? I've forgotten. Dairy blocks calcium absorption, but obviously, oh no, not dairy.
You're thinking of iron.
I'm thinking of iron, aren't I? What blocks calcium absorption? Are you eating a lot of spinach? Because if you're eating a lot of that, that could be to do with the oxalates. So you might want to go lower on spinach, chard, and beets and beet greens, and go a bit higher on more like the crucifers, the kales and things like that.
Yeah, and one thing, I had a calcium test at one point a while back, and it was a touch low. They got me in a month or two later, had another one, and it was fine. So maybe you could try to have another one soon and see if there's any difference. Because what I don't like about blood tests is they're just like a snapshot in time, aren't they? That's one thing. But yeah, obviously do be concerned about it, in a sensible way as well.
I would shoot for 2,000 IUs of vitamin D per day, like supplemental. 2,000 for an adult. It actually goes by body weight. I can't imagine that it should really go by like excess body fat, but obviously like more like lean tissue. So for me, I was supplemented with the 2,000 recommended, and I came up bang in the middle of the range. And of course, it's better to be towards the top end of the range. So I've actually upped mine now to more like 4,000 IUs a day. And I think you go by, what is it? 40 IUs per kilo, I think it is. 40 IUs per kilo. But for someone who, say, was obese, I would knock that down because they won't need as much as that.
I hope that's somewhat helpful. Yeah, I hope that you get somewhere with that. It's interesting.
Yeah, and of course, the optimal thing is to eat as much whole plant foods as you can and not to eat other foods because they lack nutrients. Let me have a little... I'll just look on Chronometer for where are some common, like, other good choices. So, like, in terms of fruits and things, some fruits are kind of better, more calcium rich than others. I think apricots are meant to be particularly good, so I eat a lot of dried apricots. Is this the right... What's this doing? Sorry guys, I'm just trying to
That's fine.
do something. Yeah, that's not really coming up. That's crashed.
I'll see if I can on it.
Anyway, yeah, I would have a look on Chronometer, plug in what you're eating, see, if you're quite low on the calcium. So I've got a bit of side boob there. June, boom. So on an average kind of day of eating for me, where does the most calcium come from? Yeah, so kale is particularly good, 254 milligrams per 100 grams. So, that's a third of your calcium needs, probably half of your calcium needs, truth be told. Like they've set the RDA like way higher than it probably needs to be. Of course, you can use a fortified milk as well. Canned tomatoes are good, sweet potato, spinach, beans, berries.
But could that be an
seeds,
issue?
Oats, lentils.
Could the doctor sort of be thinking that her calcium should be quite high, whereas it doesn't necessarily need to be that high? Or...
Probably like serum calcium, like that might be sort of more correct.
I see.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope you get that sorted out, and yeah, that shouldn't be hard to deal with. And good luck. Brunette's in the house. Mark Crossy. Jimmy, you're out of the screen again. What are you doing?
I feel like I haven't really got much room, if I'm honest. Can we move
How's
the
that?
camera over or something? Oh god.
Well, yeah.
It's a bit snag.
There you go, you're in the right place now.
Okay.
Oh, it's jumped. I was then at the right place and it jumped.
Someone was asking about if we've got black tanks or something. There's a merch shelf below, or in the description box there's a link to our Teespring store with all different coloured tanks and vests and whatnot.
But yeah, we have got black uns. Louis 9000. I'm doing bodybuilding. I've been doing it for 30 years, so I'm just kidding. I'm very silly. I'm really sorry. Vegan, how to make beans edible? Just cooking is dreadful. Well, it's all in the it's all in the herbs and spices and the meal. Like, yeah, if you just, I don't know, steam or boil some beans, yeah, that is going to be horrible.
I like to mix them with, say, like some quinoa, some veg, some herbs or whatever. Roll, put it in a blender, food processor, roll it up into some kind of balls, bake it in the oven. Or like making
bean dips,
hummus,
guacamole. Hummus.
Some kind of dip, and then spreading that over my meal. So I'm not just eating like plain beans, like you said. Put them in like a stew or a soup, chili, that kind of thing. Curry, bolognese,
chickpea curry, chana masala.
You can make black bean brownies or chickpea blondies if you want to have dessert with some beans in. That's good. I like doing you're not really talking about tofu. It's like a silken tofu mousse or something with tofu. I like as well. If I'm sick of beans. I don't know if you'll get to this question, so I'll just read this one out. Mitch the Barber's saying, no, sorry. I feel like I should read that now because I started. Sorry. Saying they're eating as low as 1,600 calories as the gyms weren't open. As of this week, I'm eating 2,000 calories. Hitting the gym, trying to burn fat. I'll give it. Oh, sorry. I thought that was a question. Okay, Louis 9000.
Jesus Christ!
Hey Hench, I've been trying to go vegan for 2 weeks, but can't get enough protein due to being a bad cook and trying to keep calories low. Is it okay for me to regularly use soy protein?
Yes. Yeah, you shouldn't need more. I mean, I get all my protein from food, like 75% of my protein from whole foods. So legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds. I get 150 grams of protein from there. And then I use 2 scoops of a protein powder to get another 50. But yeah, that's fine. It's absolutely fine. Was that Louis 9000?
Yeah.
Cool.
Can't get enough protein. I mean, how much protein do you need? Do you know how much that you need? Maybe you think that you need more than you do.
Yeah, a lot of people go overboard on protein.
Yeah, and if you just add in a few legumes in some meals or a little bit of tofu,
tempeh, seitan, textured vegetable protein.
Yeah, a bit of quinoa. It's pretty easy to hit the minimum that you need. Maybe you need a bit more if you're like a bodybuilder or hard training athlete. So a little protein powder's fine, but a lot of things have protein in. So maybe because you're new to being vegan, maybe put your foods into Chronometer, which is a free app you can get. And maybe, it can tell you how much protein you're getting and you can see if you really need to have the powder or not, perhaps.
Guillaume's in the house. And yeah, that was some good news. Jules G, when are we getting a vegan rap video with Paul laying the sick flow and twerking to present his sexual mastery? Only one person needs to know about my sexual mastery, and I may be letting her know about it later tonight if she plays her cards right. Rat Queen looks like she enjoyed that. She just went, Oh, Hungry Greek Vegan. Borat 2 is on Amazon Prime now. I watched it last night. What? Is it seriously? Shiz.
Oh, it's like the computer heard me. I just logged on I went on Amazon and it's right there.
Well, that's good news.
Wow.
We've actually got something to watch for once.
We're right at the end of watching Fringe and I was thinking, what are we going to watch next?
Nice, I like. Mantis JDG. Any solid advice for a vegan hard gainer? Just smash in enough calories so that you grow. So, you know, if you want to do it healthfully, you want to be eating predominantly whole plant foods, but you want to go like more in favour of things like fatty foods like nuts, seeds, avocado, because they're more calorific, and then like legumes, maybe a bit of tofu, tempeh, seitan, TVP, like a couple of servings of that, or protein powder. You know, as long as the rest of your diet's whole foods, it won't really hurt you too much. And then fruits, you want to go more like tropical dried fruits rather than oranges and apples, which are more water, less calories. What else to say?
I wasn't listening to the question.
Great. And then like smoothies are a great tactic as well. But yeah, just get adequate calories. And then if you're bulking, if you're in a caloric surplus, 1.62 grams of protein per kilo of leanish body weight will be more than enough for everyone, or at least enough, if not more than enough. And then, if you're in a caloric deficit but you're trying to recomp, you want to go nearer 2 grams of protein per kilo of lean body weight to ensure nitrogen retention. Pranchu, hi Paul, how do you deal with bloating with everything else is normal? Kindly answer since we're going to help I'm a kind of compassionate person, like, oh, sucking up there, I see what you're doing, but this worked. How do you deal with bloating when everything else is normal?
What's everything else?
So I guess they're saying they're in good health, but just they've got bloating going on. I guess you're like eating things that your body's not enjoying. So you might do an elimination diet to see what is the issue. Maybe you're just putting in some gluten and you've got a gluten intolerance,
Maybe you're eating too many legumes and you're not used to it. It can be a lot of things.
maybe like if you've recently gone like really healthy, maybe you wouldn't add it too quick and you've not got adequate prevotella strains. If it was to continue, then I would really suggest running some gut tests, organic acids to see if you've got issues with oxalates, salicylates, histamines. See if you've got small intestinal bacterial overgrowth or SIBO.
So would you say that,
if you've not got other symptoms, then I guess, yeah, it's probably not something so.
Maybe you could watch the Goji Man channel on YouTube and look up some of his videos on bloating just to see if
anything resonates. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good at that kind of stuff, and he offers tests if you wanted to check some of your gut health.
So, it could be something like a bacterial infection, but watch some of his videos about bloating and gut health and see if anything resonates and see whether you think you should take any of the tests that he offers. You can get the tests done anywhere. You might be able to get some done off your health service, but if you had to go privately to do it, he offers the tests at cost price. So.
And I'd be asking myself, when did this start? What was I doing around that time? What did I change? What, to do with meds or food or just, all different things like that.
Wood goods. Super chat. John's Conscious Life. Lovely man that he is.
I've not seen you for a while. How you doing?
Yeah. Kindly donated $2.79 Canadian with a note, not from Venus. Thanks for commenting on my last video, John. And how are you doing? What are you up to these days? I don't really watch much on YouTube now because I'm full-time content creator, so I'm more pumping stuff out. Are you still are you still putting out videos? And if so, you should all subscribe to John's Conscious Life because he's a lovely, lovely guy. And thanks for your support.
Cowboy.
Benny Green, my IRL friend, how often should I eat junk food? As often as you want. If you want optimal health, eat it never. If you just want to eat whatever you want and not worry about it and have a laugh, to eat it all the time. Your life will probably be considerably shorter than if you'd have eaten healthily. But, you do what you want. You're a great person and you should be your own authority on what you do with your body. But eat healthily because I like you and I want you to be around. Jackie, is it too much plant protein? Is too much plant protein problematic, or is it just animal-based protein you should eat more than necessary? Don't know that we've really got the data to be 100%, but I think we can infer that likely you're better off keeping your protein like no higher than you really need for optimal health, because you know, by the time that protein gets clinically in the body, like through the wall of the small intestine into the bloodstream, you know, it's broken down into its essential amino acids. So your body doesn't actually know, was that from meat, was that from, you know, quinoa? It's just the building blocks. And I sort of, my understanding is that an excess of protein, your body can then start building like nonsense things that you don't really want in there, like cancers. That's my understanding. I can't point you to like a study or anything, so you might want to do a bit more research on that. But as I said a minute ago, Professor Walter Longo, he's like the man when it comes to longevity, and he says that the high protein, high fat eating modality is the worst in terms of cancer growth and mortality. And again, the longest lived people on record, the Alkanans 1940s, they only ate 7 or 8% of their calories as protein. So I think we can infer things. I think that tells us something. Just looking for questions. Vegan with G is in the house. Good to see you. Even Babies loves Fringe. It's such fun, isn't it? I love, is his name Walter in the show? It is, isn't it? Walter Bishop, played by, I think, John Bishop. He's hilarious. I love how he's always gets sidetracked with food. A man after my own heart. John Konwinski, do you have any chronic injuries, and what would they be? That's a really good question, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure that I've got a few. So I've got a meniscus tear. I had surgery on it, but it was kind of botched. It really needs redoing, but I just don't want to be off the gym. So I've kind of given up doing martial arts, and I'm just sticking to the bodybuilding. And by doing that, I kind of manage it. You know, lumbar, spine, I kind of herniated a disc when I was 21, and I've had to put up with that ever since. So I kind of manage that, but that can kick off now and again. Tore my right adductor. Yeah, adductor. Because someone asked me what happens to piglets for us to get bacon, and I sort of told them about that. Then I got over emotional, and I'd already put like about 10 kilos on the leg press. I think I was getting on for 400 kilos, and I was scheduled to do 10, 8 and 6 reps over 3 sets, and I went 10, 8, got over emotional and did 10, like 4 extra reps, and tore something, and that's never been the same again. Have I got any other aches and pains that I moaned about?
Well, you don't have tendonitis anymore now that you're vegan, so
No.
that's really good.
No, I've had a lot of good results from being vegan, yeah, I will say that. That was a great question. I don't think I've been asked that before. And how are you doing, John? Where in the world are you? I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before. How's the vegan scene? How are you doing? We like to find out about them. What is this from Burkitex? You can't touch that. That's their personal things. I like to find out about them. Oh, super chat. Dino S kindly donated $2. Hello, how much protein per pound, by the way? I'm not only good at pounds. For a bulk, 1.62 grams of protein per kilo of lean body weight. For a bulk, what did I just say? For a cut? Or for a bulk? For a bulk, 1.62 per kilo, and for a cut, 2. You actually need more in a cut to keep your positive nitrogen balance. I don't know what that is per pound. You'll have to divide those numbers by 2.2. Divide or multiply. My brain, I'm not very good at maths.
TJ Cat's off for a wet snack.
Thanks for the super chat, by the way. That's really kind. Right, where was I? I'll just go back a little ways. Costa Kim Productions. Did John really threaten you, or just assume he'd see you at VegFest to chat? No. He did a thinly veiled threat so that he could just say, oh, no, that's not what I meant. But looking at the context, it is a threat. but he does it in a very politician weaselly way. You know, why does he want to see me? Like, I've just done like a video which he didn't like. Do you know what I mean? We're not mates anymore. We've both talked smack about each other. Why would he be all friendly? Like, why would he be in VegFest? I imagine he's barred for his own safety, because I think a lot of people would probably not take too kindly to him being there. He just does things in a Weasley way, so he looks like he's not such a weasel. Anyway, whatever. I don't give a shiz. Where was I? John's Conscious Life, thanks. Paul, still creating content. Nice. Mostly running training videos with some food and vegan topics sprinkled in for flavour. So do subscribe to John's Conscious Life. Very good. I'm glad you're still going. Yasmin's here. Good to see you. Dino, what do you think of YouTuber Greg Doucette's ideas? The idea of calories in, calories out? I think he just says the normal thing, doesn't he? That in order to, well, he's more about main gaining, isn't he? He says, like, if you can like build without being in a caloric surplus, you know, which is true for most people. Yeah, I think he's a very clever guy. I didn't like him at first. Same as Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneurial wizard. They both seemed to me initially to be like a bit arrogant and sort of aggressive, but actually what I've seen is they're both passionate and confident that they know their subject matter, and they really do. I actually, despite him not being vegan, of course, I would prefer he was vegan, but I actually really like Greg Doucette. I think he's good fun, and I think he's quite a nice guy, other than eating animals unnecessarily. Right, just looking for questions. Arta, I think protein in huge amounts doesn't cause cancer. Or Dr. Volta Longo would disagree, but what does he know? It just gets excited. I can imagine some protein having a little party inside your body, doing a little shimmy in that and running up the veins. I don't know what I'm on about. He's just overexcited. Looking for questions. Linda Gordon's in the house. Good to see you. John Konwinski is in Chicago, the Windy City. Is it? I think that's Chicago. How's the vegan scene in Chicago? DJ Cass for his wet snack gear. Am I miles behind? Oh no. We're doing all right. Yeah, I don't know what was the pounds. Yasmin, all things have had an upgrade since I was last here. Oh, has it been that long? What do you mean, the stream, like all the stuff in that? I can't remember. I feel like it's been like it for a while, isn't it? We have had a little computer upgrade. Look at that bad boy. Woohoo! Mincat sorted that out. He's great.
Hey, cowboy.
Punker for reals in the house. Then Chickpea Sani, good to see you. Steve Allard. John is very passive aggressive because he is unsure. He does strike me as being quite unsure about things. Hopefully he's learning from you, whether on YouTube or in person. Yeah, not a lot of love in here for our friend John. Vegan Cat, Greg just have to put down the helium balloon though, yeah. I know what you mean. Gin's in the house, good to see you. Patricia Steer, good to see you, lovely.
Can you read that one from Fern? Because I haven't answered.
Gemma, could you tell what brand of makeup do you use?
Yes, I like Bare Minerals. Mostly because there's like a counter you can go into in Debenhams, and I can, well, before COVID I could like test some things, or get someone to tell me what shade of foundation is good for me so I don't look orange, stuff like that. I don't like buying makeup online, so much. Superdrug I like because all their own brand stuff is
Superdrug
cruelty free, and I'm just recently getting into Tropic skincare and makeup.
Tropic Thunder.
I went to like a party. I didn't know. I just thought they were like this expensive like brand because I saw them at festivals and there's no prices, and I thought, oh, it's probably really expensive. Well, actually, it's not. Went to like a party and I heard all this great stuff about how good they are for the environment. You can give back like your lipstick tubes and things, and they recycle them, and you give them back like 10 and you get a free one. All this kind of stuff is really ethical. So I'm thinking about becoming an ambassador potentially for them. Yeah, why not? I think they're a good company. So yeah, I don't have loads of companies that I've ever used, or the brands should I say. So that's the only ones I really can tell you I think are good. But I think those ones are good.
I think you're good. Hunger for real. How much time is best to move from eating meat to vegan? So in terms of gut microbiome and the fact that potentially, if you're eating animals, you'll be eating exogenous, preformed animal sort of vitamins, good nutrients. Now, we can make the same nutrients from plant precursors, but our genes would have shut off that expression. So we won't build it endogenously because we're eating it exogenously. So there's no need. So, the vegan in me wants to say stop eating meat immediately. But potentially people could fail. It could feel terrible because they're not producing creatine, carnitine. I mean, I was all right. I dropped meat. I dropped all animal products pretty much straight off the bat. Well, Gemma did it 100%. I dropped like 98% of it, and after a few months, it wasn't that I was transitioning. I just thought, do we need some animal products? And then when I realised we don't, I just cut it out completely. But yeah, neither of us had a problem, but potentially some people could have a problem with that. And the fact that, you will be Bacteroides dominant, like the bad gut bacteria. And in order to process healthy whole plant foods, you need to be Prevotella dominant. And that can take a little while, and you can have like problems with that. So, the most guaranteed successful way would be to take a few short weeks to take out some of your old food and put in a little bit more of the healthy whole plant foods. But if you're not eating 100% whole plant foods, you don't need to worry so much because you won't be eating as much fibre. So take from that what you will. Obviously, from a health perspective, the more animal products you eat, the quicker you tend to be the orchestrator of your own demise. So it's in your best interest to stop as early as possible. So yeah, I guess you've got to weigh that all up, how risk averse you are, and most people just drop the animal products and are fine anyway. But there is the potential to feel a bit rubbish for a short time. If our machinery, if our own genes don't start to express these animal-based nutrients fast enough. I think that was a good answer. Sorry, Jones, did you see a pub renamed itself the Three Bell Ends celebrating our extreme government? That's funny. Hungry Greek Mexican, 14-year-old girl gets shin splints from lacrosse and soccer. She's not vegan, but I bet her calcium is not optimal. What info bombs can you drop for her? Shin splints. That's more a muscular thing, isn't it? That's like your tibialis anterior.
Sort of being deconditioned, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily a calcium issue, but what I will say about calcium is there's dairy is 30% less bioavailable than most whole plant foods. The calcium is so. Yeah, anti-nutrients and bioavailable nutrients. You know, yeah, if you're worried about bioavailability of calcium, don't have dairy then, because it's 30% less than most plants. That's what I'd say about that one.
Something I was thinking is that our body needs to be alkaline. So for like recovery from exercise, you know, if we're not eating optimally, you can't recover so well. So yeah, she's doing a lot of sports and things, then if she eats more alkaline, so basically fruits and veggies and, you know, less of all the other stuff, better recovery, would you say?
Yeah, very much so. Vegan profit, you mentioned tendonitis. Any tips about healing that? Number one, stop aggravating it. So whatever you're doing for there to be tendonitis, stop that for a time until it like calms down. Diet is key. So so I had that knee surgery. As I said, I had a torn meniscus, had an arthroscopy. Didn't recover for like 18 months. It was meant to be like a 3-month recovery. 18 months later, it was still hurting. Then I went whole foods plant-based not for the reason of that pain, but it just went overnight. So whole plant foods. You want to balance your omega-3 and 6 such that your omega-6 is no more than 4-to-1 in favour. And that will, because 6 is pro-inflammatory. So you want that balanced 4-to-1 with omega-3, and then that's great for less inflammation in the body. You don't want to go that other way. You do need more 6 than 3. It's 4 times less. Has a 4 times less affinity with the enzyme that elongates it, so it works out that it's in balance. Plenty of greens like alkalis. And you could add in CBD oil as well. That's a real powerful anti-inflammatory. So link below. You can get 35% off for the next week or so. If you look below the stream, there should be a link to a free ebook, which is a great book. At the end is a link and a code for 35% off CBD if you want to give that a try. So it's a good time to do that.
6 more minutes.
Get your questions in while you still can. Where was we? Oh, God. Why has it jumped? Here we go. Jin, is there a coalition between histamine intolerance and microbiome of carnivores or omnivores diet? Coalition? What do you mean? Like a connection? Histamine intolerance and the microbiome of carnivores. I don't really know. I don't know, I'm afraid. Pass. Sadly, I don't know everything. Mark Crosby, Hench, what food would you recommend for joint health, please? Yeah, all the ones I just said, basically, for anti-inflammatory a moment ago. Califrax is in the house. Good to see you. Alexander, any science-based studies which confirm the 3-to-6 ratio should be more than 4-to-1? So I didn't see any videos. Omega-3 to 6 ratios should be no more than 4-to-1. Do you mean in terms of omega-3 or omega-6? So basically, because if you're talking about 6, because 6 is pro-inflammatory, it just creates pain and disease in the body. So that's the reason for that. I suppose, you could have more omega-3 than 1-to-4, to be fair, but you generally struggle to do that, because most things are higher in 6. But I suppose if you went really high in ground chia, for instance, you could have more. As long as you've got 3.2 grams of ALA or 2.2 for a male, 2.2 for a female per day, that's adequate omega-3. What I'm really saying is you don't want your 6 like too low. You want it to be at least 4 times the minimum of the omega-3. Because sometimes there's instances where we do need to make inflammation in the body, is basically the point I'm getting at. I might not have explained it very well, but hopefully I have now. Caustic Him, what happened to McDougall and Furman? Haven't heard from them since COVID. I've seen McDougall loads of times with his wife on Chef AJ's podcast. Back places in the house, but good, thank you. Chickpea, how long do you reckon before John Venus makes another no longer ethically plant-based vegging, yeah, in it, video.
It's like he's like putting out everything he thinks. You know what I mean? Like, it's like in his mind he's going, okay, like, oh, is this right? Maybe it is. Oh, I don't know. Like, the it's like everything he thinks, he has to like say it, like put it out and like make a video about it. Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, no, I'm vegan. No, I'm not vegan. Like, keep it to yourself and like figure it out, and don't hassle us every 5 seconds with like something that you're not going to stick to. That's what I want to say.
Super chat. Mitch the Barber very generously donated $19.99. That is super kind of you, Mitch. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate you. And this is a great question, actually. Is it possible to lose body fat in a caloric surplus? No. And is it possible to gain muscle? Oh, I suppose, like, if you were gaining so slowly that you're just building muscle, I suppose potentially. And then is it possible to gain muscle in a deficit? How long is too long to be in a deficit? Yeah, I mean, it's possible. You know, the more of a deficit you're in, the more unlikely you are to do it. If you're hugely overweight and you've got tons of fat, then, early days, yeah, maybe. And maybe it'll be fairly easy. But as you get leaner and you've got less fat, it becomes harder and harder. At some point, it becomes impossible. And how long is too long to be in a deficit? In terms of if you're trying to build a muscle in a deficit, then the minute you stop building muscle in a deficit is obviously where it's too long. It's going to vary, and then and in general terms, if you're in a deficit for too long, it depends how hard you hit it. If you're in a mild deficit, that's very sustainable. But if you're in quite a extreme deficit, that quickly becomes unsustainable, and your thyroid function will shut down. It will slow down because your body doesn't want to be like big and ripped. It just wants to survive, and it will think there's a famine on. And once your thyroid function lowers, you just got no energy, you lose motivation. Like, every system of your body kind of suffers. So really, I mean, you're kind of asking how long is a bit of string. But so what I will really say is the thing to really be mindful of is to just be not in too much of a rush, just to, go through the process and do it gradually and sustainably. Like, I would say to lose no more than 1% of your total body weight per week. So again, early days, if you're hugely overweight, that might be 3 pounds, and you might be thriving, and you might actually be able to build muscle on that. You won't build a whole lot. And again, like, there's also a function of how long have you been training. If you're very new to the gym, you may gain well for a long time. If you've already got an amazing physique under there somewhere, so you've been training 10 years or more, okay, you've put a bit of fat on, but you're unlikely to really grow, or not very quickly anyway. So that's a very long-winded answer, but that's just the nature of that kind of question. Right, that's that. We better go and do some other things. I need to do some Instagram posts. Guys, thank you for hanging out. I've had a lovely, lovely time. Thank you, moderators, for keeping us troll-free. Thanks for the super chats, keeping the beans on our toast. And the camera's rolling. Do follow us on the gram. There, Hench Herbivore and Gemma_Herbivore. Do loads of posts on there. If you're new, we'd love you to become part of this wonderful community. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button, clicking the bell icon so you're notified of new videos. I have got a couple of new videos out if you've not seen them, so please check them out if you have not. And if you want to support the channel, cookbook's still half price. We've got the Hench Herbivore merch, and of course I'm ambassador for Vivo Life, which does protein and vitamins. Also Honest Temp CBD and Ethics Clothing. Links are down there. money off code, so you get to save a bit of dosh, and you help support what we're doing. And of course, there's channel memberships and Patreon where you can get perks for supporting us in those ways.
We're back Monday.
Yeah, we're back Monday. Set a reminder on your phone, 6 p.m. BST. It's